Hey, I'm Logan.
And I'm Frogman.
I'm sorry, what?
Alyssa.
Is that what you said the first time? Did I just
Yes.
mishear you?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. I should get that checked out.
What do you think I said?
Frogman.
Why would I say that?
Okay, so this week we are talking about some... Okay, wait a second. This is the marketer's cut. Sorry, Frogman over here has really thrown me off my game.
Alyssa? My name's Alyssa.
Sorry.
We've been dating for 7 years.
Well, I forget sometimes.
I've never been called Frogman, ever.
This is an episode of the marketer's cut. It's episode 10.
Take 10.
Take 10. Excited for that one. A little quick rundown of what we do here. We talk about 2 movies, normally a new movie and an older, somehow related movie. And we talk about how they were marketed and how we would market them. A lot of times our ideas are bad, but sometimes we come up with some real genius ones.
A lot of the time, I think they should have used our ideas, not their ideas.
We're essentially building a resume for our movie marketing careers.
Yes.
Right now, I think it's what we're doing. Hopefully they don't read the entire resume, just, the highlights.
That's what a resume is for.
Exactly. So the movies that we're doing this week, we're changing things up a little bit because our newest movie is not really a new movie. It is Hail Caesar from 2016. It's a Coen Brothers movie. We're doing a Coen Brothers movie because my friend Parker requested that we do some Coen Brothers movies. So that's what we're doing.
We do take requests, unless they're stupid requests.
Yeah, this is a good request because these are some fun movies to watch.
This is, I think, the funnest set of movies that we've ever talked about.
I don't know if I agree, but I don't disagree. Let's clarify. The older movie we're doing is The Big Lebowski, arguably the Coen Brothers' most culturally impactful movie.
Yes.
So, Hail Caesar, Big Lebowski, some fun ones. Do you want to start talking about Hail Caesar?
Yes, Hail Caesar was directed by Joel and Ethan Coen, starring Jeff Bridges.
No.
Oh, fuck. Wrong movie.
Yep. Starring Purple Man Thanos, Josh Brolin.
I'm saying it.
Okay.
Starring Thanos and George Clooney, I think, is in it. I think Scarlett Johansson is in it. I think Tilda Swinton is in it. I think Jonah Hill's in it for 2 minutes, less than maybe 2 minutes. I think you see Channing Tatum in it.
This could go on literally all day. Do you want to?
I think... Well, no, because there's the detective. I think that was Paddington, played by Paddington, the detective. I think that's played by Paddington, the bear, in the movie. I think...
What are you talking about?
I think... Let me think of other people in it.
We don't need to list every single actor in this movie.
Well, Paddington was in it.
Okay, we're gonna move on and stop listing every actor. You named the big ones.
Well, no, there's more. I think
Yes, there's a lot.
Robert Downey Jr. was in it.
He's not in this. You're just naming random names now. Stop. Okay.
Yeah, what do you have to say now?
Okay. So this movie came out on February 1st, 2016. It was kind of dumped in what is typically either the bad movie season or award season movies that didn't come out before the end of the year.
Uh-huh.
I don't think a lot of people knew which one this was going to be. It didn't really contend for many awards. And a lot of people thought it was a bad movie. So it kind of was it was kind of living in both worlds there. Okay, so now that we have the cast figured out, now that we've really done the deep dive on the cast, thank you for that. I'm going to talk about how this movie performed at the box office. Now, do you think it was a hit?
Nope.
Okay. It was made on a budget of $22 million. Its opening weekend was $11 million. Domestic total was $30 million, and its worldwide total was $63 million. So probably made money, but it wasn't really a huge hit.
Wow, so I was right.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, what do I get?
I'll give you a hug.
Not during COVID.
We lived it. Okay. The Rotten Tomatoes score.
I'm gonna guess it.
All right, guess the critic.
Oh shoot, there's two, right?
Yep.
The critics said it was a 65.
Nope, 85.
Oh, I like that. And well, the audience said it was a 65.
44.
Oh.
Yeah. So audiences did not like this movie, and we're going to talk about that because that's going to kind of be our main prompt for how we would market it better, I think.
Okay.
Cinema score, you want to take a guess at what that was?
B minus.
Oh, C minus.
I was close.
Audiences really did not. C minus is pretty bad.
Well, could be worse.
I remember seeing that like Bad Grandpa with Robert De Niro, I think, or something, came out around the same time and had like a cinema score of like B minus or something.
Oh, that's not good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But once we get into like the marketing stuff, I think a big part of this is like how the movie was marketed and how the movie actually played out are like two different sides of the same coin, I guess.
Okay.
So I can see people being disappointed. But yeah, this is actually one of the widest Coen Brothers releases ever. It released in about 2,200 screens, which isn't a huge release, but it's big for them.
Okay.
And some background on them. No Coen Brothers release has ever topped $100 million domestically, except for True Grit, which was a remake of like a beloved Western.
Yeah, I didn't see it though.
We have it on Blu-ray. We're gonna watch it soon. I want to watch it.
Wow, I didn't know it was them. That makes me want to watch it more.
Yeah. But you know, that's a remake of like a beloved Western. So it makes sense why it made so much more money. But other than that, they've never really been huge like box office darlings, I guess.
Not box office boys, that's for sure.
That is for sure. I actually read a pretty good article written by Matt Singer on Screen Crush, about how this movie was kind of the victim of directorial expectations, kind of. So, like he talked about in the article how you really like making faces through the mic at me, don't you?
I'm being normal.
Okay. He talked in the article about how he enjoyed the movie. He liked it, and he saw the cinema score as a C minus. But to him, he's like, oh, that makes sense, you know? Like, people see these big actors in it. They think they might be getting something, and they walk in, and it's a Coen Brothers movie, and it doesn't exactly meet, like, those expectations. But then he noticed, like, after tweeting about the movie, that a lot of Coen Brothers fans who responded to him also didn't like this movie. And I mean, I remember when I saw it in theaters, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but I was kind of disappointed by it. And this movie was a follow-up to Inside Llewyn Davis, which was a like highly respected Coen Brothers, much smaller, but people loved it. It's a great movie. So I don't know. There were Coen Brothers fans saying this is the worst movie, hands down, that they've ever done.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems a little harsh, but it's because it's kind of following up a movie that was really good and people really liked from them. So, I mean, that's kind of a hurdle, I guess, in movie marketing is, like, how do you handle expectations, especially from directors that are as esteemed as the Coen Brothers, but also, like, switch things up so much.
Well, let me tell you my idea right now.
Okay.
Before we do it, before we even talk about ideas. You pull a Inside Out and you say, from the loving directors of these other movies. Well, that might make it worse, I guess.
They did that. If you remember in the Hail Caesar trailer, it says, you know, we can start talking about the trailer and poster in this too. I think it's going to kind of play into expectations. But the Hail Caesar trailer, it says from the directors of Fargo, which is an Oscar-winning movie, No Country for Old Men, which won Best Picture, and the third one, The Big Lebowski, which is like this huge cultural piece of art now, I guess. Like, people know what that is.
Well, I guess they should have said from the creators, and they show all these clips like Inside Out, and then they say, but not as good.
So just temper expectations right away.
Not as good, but you can enjoy it if you want to enjoy it.
Okay, that's a really interesting
Thank
message to
you.
take.
It's very genius.
Okay, so what about this? And let's move into like the trailer and posters now. So like a big part about the poster is it's there's a lot of blank space on the poster and stuff, but I guess the
Yes.
biggest thing is that you see like the 5 faces up at the top, and you have Josh Brolin in the middle, and then you get Scarlett Johansson to the right of him, you get George Clooney to the left of him. On the far left, you have Channing Tatum, and on the far right, you have Jonah Hill. Now, like, do you see any problems with that in terms of like how you manage expectations? Because I think I have an issue with it.
Jonah Hill was in it for literally 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And really, Scarlett Johansson is in it for.
Hey, I'm telling it.
Okay.
And Scarlett Johansson's in it for like 3 minutes and like 56 seconds. Channing Tatum was in it for less than that, like 2 minutes.
He had a little bit longer, and I would say he had a more consequential role in the film, but still not a lot.
Still really not a lot. Now, George Clooney, he was in this movie. I look at him and I go, he was in it. The other people, I wouldn't hype him up.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Is like Jonah Hill is one of the bigger names in the movie, as well as like Channing Tatum and stuff. Especially because like this is after 21 and 22 Jump Street. So like both of those starred in those comedies. This is kind of being marketed as a comedy. They're big names, and I remember going to see it like waiting the whole time, like, oh man, when's Jonah Hill gonna pop up? And then he finally pops up, and then poof, he's gone.
Okay, back to my brilliant ideas. Well, I mean, we've kind of already said it. They shouldn't have put those people on the poster. I think it would have been a lot cooler to watch it be like, this is a really colorful movie. This is kind of a fun time. Oh, shit. Jonah Hill's in this? Oh, there he goes. That was kind of cool, though.
Yeah, it would have been a much better, like, Matt Damon type cameo, like what's in Interstellar. Like, Interstellar didn't need to use Matt Damon to market it. Mm-hmm. Now, to be fair, it's a Christopher Nolan movie. He makes box office hits, but still, like, Matt Damon just shows up. And you don't have people expecting him to show up. When he does show up, you don't have people expecting him to be in it for a long time. You're not coloring people's, like, opinions of it throughout the movie if they're not waiting for that.
Yeah, I agree. Again, George Clooney, Josh Brolin, those 2 people were in this movie. The other people, I mean, they showed up, but they weren't really in the movie that much.
Tilda Swinton, I get she's not like a huge box office name, but she was in it way more than these other characters.
I would have liked to see her. I would have liked to see her on the poster.
Yeah, and I don't know if the answer is replace the people with other people, or just, maybe only have like a actor kind of floating head thing on the poster and show like Josh Brolin and George Clooney.
Listen, George Clooney would have been enough. People see that and say, oh man, George is in this? And then they see it. You didn't need those other people.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird. And like, again, anecdotally speaking, I remember seeing the movie and thinking, man, I wish there was more Jonah Hill. Mm-hmm. I wish there was more Channing Tatum, Scarlett Johansson as well. I mean, there's not a lot of any of them. And I was just kind of, at the time, excited for this big ensemble cast. And that's not what this movie was.
Agreed.
And I mean, we can talk about the trailer too, but I mean, we're going to get into the same thing with the trailer. It shows itself off as a comedy. It shows all these faces. And it shows Jonah Hill's entire scene pretty much in the trailer.
I agree with that. It did show a lot of color. I like that because the movie did have a lot of color, and it's part of what made it really interesting. But that's it. It's like, hey, look at all these people in here. They're not in it. That's it. I don't want to talk about it anymore because we've already said it 10 times.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to say about the trailer. Let's get into our ideas.
Okay. Well, you've already given some stuff, so I guess I'll start now with an idea. And this is what I told you during the movie. A little context for those listening along at home. There's a scene in this movie where Hobie Doyle, played by Alden E., is playing with his food at the table. He has some spaghetti. He ties up the spaghetti in like a little lasso, and then lassos his own fingers or something. And one, I'm like, did he actually do that in the movie? Because if so, that's very impressive. But two, I want to see Hail Caesar branded lasso spaghetti.
I'd be so into that. You could lasso meatballs.
Oh yeah, in lasso meatballs,
Yes.
it'd be perfect. You know, maybe include a little like booklet with like some pictures that show you how to like lasso things.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they're pre-tied. Don't ask people to tie them at home. That's a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like once you boil it, it would kind of loosen up some, so then it could be adjustable.
Yeah.
And you pull on it, tightens. You got your meatball or whatever else you're trying to catch in your noodle.
Yeah, lasso noodles.
Good idea.
Yeah, I think it'd be great and probably taste pretty good. Pasta is amazing and very versatile.
Agreed. You don't even need marinara.
I mean, if
Put
you look
some
at it in this movie,
Alfredo.
he orders it with no sauce so that he can play with it better.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Put butter garlic on there.
Any other pasta sauces you want to name?
I can't think of any.
Okay, that's my first thing. What do you have an idea?
Well, I don't know. I really wish everyone would have met up too. Like, none of these big stars meet up really, other than like a tiny bit.
Okay. Oh. Okay, you keep going with whatever you're gonna say, but I have something.
Well, I don't know if I even have anything. It's just like number one, I just think they should have done that differently in the movie. I was disappointed when they didn't all become friends or something.
Okay, so look, you haven't seen any of the Alien movies. Alien Covenant, that came out in like 2018, 2017, something like that. They had a trailer that was like posted online before the movie came out. It's like a 5-minute trailer, but it's really a prologue. And it's like the entire crew of the ship, and they're just like having a birthday party on the ship or something. And there's one character in the movie, I can't remember who it is. It's like a Chris Pine or something like that.
You know, I do kind of remember that.
Yeah.
You're saying this to me.
Because I told you about it. I thought it was
watching
so cool when they did it, but it's not even in the movie. It takes place before the events of the movie. It's really cool. It shows all the crew members just hanging out, having a good time. So maybe you do something similar with Hail Caesar, and you have like a little 5-minute like prologue. Like maybe it's a wrap party on a movie or something, or it's like a studio holiday party or something. So that can explain why you have all these people from different places coming together, meeting up in the same place. And, they're just having a fun time. Things are going wacky, and Josh Brolin, the studio fixer, is having to go around the party, making sure things aren't getting too out of control.
So I like establishing his character before the movie, but if you put all those people together before the movie, and I see the movie and they're not together, I guess, but also, when I see them separate, I'm like, well, I know they've been together before. That's kind of nice, actually. I think it's nice knowing that they have been in the same room, or even if, like, they're not even in the same room. I just want to see something where, like, one of them's doing something and the other one happens to walk by, and then we switch to their perspective, and we
Ooh.
see them doing whatever, and then they pass by someone else, and they all connect, but not really super directly, like in the movie. That's what I want.
That'd be kind of cool. Because I do agree, watching the movie, again, I think a lot of the issues with this movie, especially with like the cinema score and people walking out and not liking it and everything, have to do with these weird expectations of like, actors are in this movie, they're supposed to act together, and then you have this expectation of how the movie is going to play out. And it doesn't even follow a normal structure like that, So if you can kind of like temper those before they go in, you might be solving an issue there.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow. Genius.
Cool. I have something else I want to throw out,
Okay.
which is more like, you're not marketing it when the movie comes out, but if like you're wanting to maybe get people to revisit this movie, and start thinking about Hail Caesar again, or maybe the Coen brothers just want to make a bad movie so that people don't say Hail Caesar's their worst movie anymore. Mm-hmm. Do a little spinoff, call it Hobie Halloween. And
You did mention that during...
I did.
You did mention that.
I think it's an amazing idea. You get Hobie Doyle, you get him in his own Halloween Western. He has a thermos that does a lot of cool stuff. It has a lasso on it, and it has a water boiler
Or
so
what
that he
if,
can boil his lasso noodles.
What if he instead has a lasso that does a lot of things?
So we have to pick between either A thermos that has a lasso, or a lasso does a lot of things? Like a thermos that does a lot of things, including a lasso, or just a lasso that does a lot of things?
Well, yeah, because that's like his thing is having the lasso. So it's like, oh, well, look, with this lasso, he made a bowl and now he's eating out of it. I don't know.
He made okay. You know what? I would say it doesn't make sense, but the thermos being literally everything Hubie needs in Hubie Halloween doesn't make sense either.
Yep.
So, Hobie Halloween coming to theaters, coming somewhere, maybe not theaters.
Maybe just us making it, going to YouTube.
Like
Never.
I will play Hobie Doyle and make Hobie Halloween.
Okay.
All right, I don't know what hole I've dug myself into, but let's move on to Big Lebowski.
Alrighty, yeah. I'm so excited to talk about the dude.
That's right. So the Big Lebowski, you all know it. You all probably love it. But we're still gonna introduce it a little bit. It was a 1998 Coen Brothers movie. It was their follow-up to Fargo, which we watched a couple months ago. Great movie.
You're looking at me because I look appalled. I'm not appalled. It's like Fargo.
Oh, you're surprised that it was the one that came after Fargo?
No, I'm about to tell you why. I'm not surprised. I'm just like connecting. So in Fargo, they kidnap. In Big Lebowski, they kidnap. Also,
In Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar, they kidnap. Now I connected Hail Caesar, I think, and Fargo. Sure. I don't know. I just connected them. Wow, that's a lot of kidnap. Now, but also the Big Lebowski. There's just like a lot of kidnapping, and it's like, are the Coen brothers okay? Mentally, have they ever kidnapped someone?
I doubt they have. I think they just like it when children sleep. It's kidnap. Kids napping. It was a good one, right?
Anyways, go on.
Okay. So, yes, it was the follow-up to Fargo, which Fargo did win an Academy Award.
And it did have kidnapping.
Yes, it did. It opened on March 6, 1998. First premiered at Sundance on January 18th, 1998. So it opened pretty quickly after Sundance, which is a little shocking. But yeah, this movie was made on a budget of $15 million, which, like, we just talked about how Hail Caesar's budget was $22 million. Budgets were very similar. Like, that's not a big difference.
That's true.
Opening weekend, though, this one, only $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
Domestic, it made $18 million total, and worldwide, it made $47 million.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like, it made money, but it wasn't a big hit. And critically, it wasn't huge either. So, do you want to guess what the Rotten Tomatoes score is?
I don't even want to guess because I'm going to get upset because I actually very much like this movie and I don't know how you wouldn't be a critic and say, that was amazing. And how you also don't watch it and say, at least I had a fun time. At least John Goodman pulls a gun on someone. Like, he pulls the gun. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, one thing about movies that existed, that came out before Rotten Tomatoes was a big thing, and I don't know when it started, I'm guessing it wasn't around in 1998, is that Rotten Tomatoes has to pretty much pull old reviews and put them on there, but also as new reviews come out for it. Like, sometimes some of these reviews that are on the Rotten Tomatoes critics things are dated like 2017, 2018. So they're newer, and somebody watching this in 2018, it's a different thing. So the rating is actually 83 critic score, but I think that's heavily skewed up. Because I read some of the reviews that were older, and people didn't love it. They thought it was a mess. Roger Ebert, who was a beloved film critic, who has since passed away, originally gave the movie like a B or something. He didn't love it. But then he ended up adding it to one of his like greatest movies of all time list. Later on, like, a decade later or something. So, it's a movie that grew on a lot of people. And again, I think part of it was that it came after Fargo, which won an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Like, again, they're being hit, well, I say again, but this is before Hail Caesar, but they're hit by these expectations. and their next movie, because they like to switch things up so much, just can't live up to things. The audience score, which that audience score is heavily skewed to people who like see it now or have seen it recently.
Yeah.
Not back in '98. It's in '93, which makes sense.
Yeah.
People love this movie. Now, cinema score is something we can pull from that time. It was a B.
Okay.
Not terrible, not great.
I can see initially watching it being like, However, after just watching it again for the second time, the first time I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. This time I was like, well, like I'm now thinking, should it be one of my top movies on Letterboxd? That's what I'm thinking right now.
I think this movie gets better with each rewatch, and the amount that it gets better with each rewatch is higher as well.
Yeah.
Like it's 10% better the second time. It's just 20% better this next time. That's how I feel. I've seen it probably 3 or 4 or 5 times, something like that. And I'm always shocked by how good it is. I guess I'm like, oh, it's better than I remember, which is weird.
Yeah.
So that makes like these Rotten Tomatoes and cinema score things like hard to look at, 23 years later. But still a little bit interesting. So do you want to talk about the trailer?
Sorry, I'm very unfocused because I thought of a fantastic idea I'm not going to talk about yet.
Okay.
But I'm having so much trouble just concentrating. So if I do seem zoned out, it's because I'm so excited about this idea. I really want to talk about the trailer. I think it completely encapsulated, is that the right word?
Yeah.
Everything about the movie. Like, you literally get, like, the weird oddball scenes. You get, like, the kind of crazy kidnapping, what's going on. You see all of the characters, and you kind of get a gist for them a little bit. But, like, enough to understand. Like, I saw it, and I was like, yeah, they didn't miss anything. Like, I feel like they kind of got the essence of the movie in a brief way, but enough of it to be like, yeah, I know what this movie's about.
So I'm kind of like of two minds with the trailer. So like on the first hand, I agree with everything you just said.
Okay.
It does encapsulate the movie perfectly. On the second hand, I feel like the trailer is fast. It shows a lot. There's a lot in this movie, but the trailer takes a lot of that stuff and it goes punch, 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 punch.
Yeah.
And stuff, and the movie is not that fast. Now, the movie is exciting, but there are plenty of scenes in the movie that take its time. So maybe watching this trailer, you might be expecting something a little bit more exciting minute to minute. Maybe.
I completely can see that. Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like it did get it, but it does get it all very fast. I think that's why it gets everything is because it puts so much in there.
Yeah.
But I agree that the movie is like slow burns, not what I want to call it, but you get just some slow scenes that are really, really good.
Yeah, it's like a hangout movie sometimes. Some scenes are just, Walter, the dude, and Donnie just hanging out at the bowling alley.
Yeah, but I mean, they're talking about things relevant to the movie, but I mean, there's no rush in it. Like, they're really just having a conversation, and you don't get that. I get that. You don't get that from the trailer.
Yeah, that might be the only thing the trailer doesn't give off, which, may explain a little bit of, like, the lower cinema score and stuff like that. But maybe not. I don't know. I do think it was a pretty good trailer, like you said, and it covers pretty much all the bases, and it doesn't shy away from the weird psychedelic scenes. It doesn't lie to you. It's pretty honest.
Yeah.
The poster. So, I mean, this poster is, I wouldn't say, like, special. It says the Big Lebowski. You get Jeff Bridges' face real big. The glasses, you have the rug in the glasses.
Yeah, I feel like the movie itself, at its absolute core, is about the dude and the rug. However, I think they could have done better with the poster.
Yeah. The orange color is a little odd. I don't know why.
I think so, too. It just doesn't... The faded black and white is like this...
For people listening, it's Jeff Lebowski in black and white. It's, his face covers the whole...
Oh, yeah, Jeffrey Lebowski.
Oh, yeah, that is his name. Jeff Bridges as well. But it's his face in black and white covering, like, the entire poster. And then on the top, you have, like, the names of the actors in the movie. You have the title on the bottom. And those names of the title are in this almost, like, Halloween-ish orange text, and then he's wearing the sunglasses with the rug reflected in them in color.
And again, that part, like, the color's not terrible, but it doesn't work because the black and white is almost like a faded black and white.
Yeah, and like the red and the orange work weirdly together.
Yeah.
But the tagline is they figured he was a lazy, time-wasting slacker. They were right. I think it's a little weird because I'll give the dude a little bit more credit than that, but
I agree. I think the tagline should have just been "The Dude Abides."
there we
And
go.
that's it. I mean, it would have been classic A+.
There we go. Okay, so let's get into ideas. I want to hear your idea for it.
Okay. I have actually just come up with an idea for every single Coen brothers movie. So get ready for this.
Okay.
So I don't know how you advertise this specifically, but you say, "Hey, we're the Coen brothers and we want to kidnap you." Okay, now listen, I know it sounds crazy. Fill out a form online. Give us your address, where you work, what hours you are at these places usually. And with your consent, you're signing this waiver. We will not hold a gun to you or anything. We are going to kidnap you. And we are going to bring you to a screening of this movie. And so you're not really scared. You know it's going to come because you signed up for it. You've signed liability waivers. They come to your house. They kidnap you. They put you in a van. And they take you to the movie.
Now, what's really nice about this is, like, they call themselves the Coen Brothers, but you can call it, like, Coen Bros Kidnapping Service, and it has, like, that family and business vibe. Like, Coen Bros,
yeah.
you know? Like, Coen and Bros, Coen and Sons, like, Coen Bros. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, no, I would sign up to be kidnapped by the Coen Brothers, and, no, I definitely would.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's a brilliant idea.
Okay, I have something.
Okay, I feel like I was going to say something else, but maybe I wasn't.
You'll remember.
mean,
You'll remember.
It's just like, it's just about it. Like, it's just a safe kidnap. And then you go see a movie. And, like, maybe there's popcorn.
Kind of like in Game Night. Except things go really wrong in Game Night.
That's very true. This is always just safe, fun kidnapping.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Sounds really fun. I would sign up for it in a heartbeat.
For like standard rates apply, just in the fine text, they could only do certain cities. Like maybe they do a couple cities and you have to be living in those cities and like in the radius of the movie theater for them to like pick you up.
No, I think it should be a worldwide service and they have to pick like one or two, but like you could be anywhere and the Coen Brothers should show up and kidnap you.
Well, I don't think
that
that's...
adds to the fun.
Well, I mean, it does add to the fun, but then like it's going to take so long to get somewhere. You have to feed people. You have to put them... up in a hotel, you have to have them fly. It's like that's too much.
Okay, I agree. Can I talk about my idea?
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm thinking about this very logistically because I want it to be real. Please tell me your idea.
Coen Bros, we are listening and open to you paying us money to use this idea. Or maybe just don't pay us at all. It'd be an honor.
Or pay us.
Okay, I want to say my thing now because I'm very excited for it.
We're waiting.
So some movies, you go there, and you get a poster, a little mini poster. They roll it up to you. They give it to you on opening night and stuff. Mm-hmm. I want them to hand out miniature, urine-stained rugs.
Now, is it real wet urine, or is it just like... They painted urine on it.
Okay, now I don't know. What do you think works better?
I don't think you should give out real piss on the rugs.
That's a fair point.
I think it should look... but I think it should look like there's piss on it.
Yeah, maybe not real, but you have like a yellow stain on a rug.
Yeah.
And it's just a mini thing. Or, and if you don't want to actually manufacture a real rug, just making a mini poster, but the background is like a rug, but it's piss stained. And like look, if there was a piss-stained rug movie poster for The Big Lebowski, I would maybe actually put that up on our wall.
Okay.
It's just, like, weird enough to get people to be like, oh, yeah. Like it maybe could look like art. Just nice wall art that has a stain on it. And they're like, no, hey, that's from The Big Lebowski, you know?
That's true. I just realized we actually talked about what we were going to talk about during this segment, and now we're not talking about that.
Yeah, I know, because we're fine. We're doing good stuff.
Oh, because I had my good idea?
Yeah. So okay, no, we can do that a little bit. We're actually getting close to finishing up.
Well,
But
I want you to talk about what happened, what they did for marketing, because
yeah.
you haven't talked
So
about that.
I tried to go back and look at some of maybe the weirder marketing stuff that the Big Lebowski did before it came out. And had a lot of trouble because when you search the Big Lebowski marketing now, you find a lot of stuff that has flooded the Google results. So like one example is there are a lot of post Big Lebowski ads that call back characters from the Big Lebowski, mainly the dude. There's like I think it's I can't remember which beer or liquor. I believe it's a beer that has like Jeff Bridges acting like he's the dude. Drinking beer or advertising beer and stuff. So you get a lot of stuff like that, but also there's this weird subsection of like I guess business culture that loves to use the Big Lebowski in like content writing like lessons or tutorials online. So one thing is like, hey, you're writing content for your blog, but are you writing it for the dude or are you writing it for the big Lebowski, like the rich Lebowski, you know? And they're taking like this idea of like the different, I guess, like class roles in the movie,
Interesting.
but using them very literally and saying like you might be trying to write cool content for the lazy bum on his couch, but you need to be writing content for the guy with money. Which I thought was kind of funny. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff like that. Like, I was surprised at the amount of stuff I found, like actual business or marketing articles that use this movie as inspiration to like further marketing ideas, not related to film at all.
Because you have two of these people with the same name, but they're completely different people.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting and also just made it really hard for me to do my job for this episode. But it made me think, we're, again, getting close to our 40-minute cap. But if you were to market something else with the Big Lebowski, years after the Big Lebowski came out, what would you do?
Okay. So we're finishing it up. Let's do a lightning round. We got our 3 best characters that I want to talk about. I'm going to name one of them, and we're going to think of a couple ideas for them for what we would use them for.
So like post Big Lebowski marketing for other things. So you're gonna name like a character, and we need to say, okay, well, we advertise this thing with this character.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you the name, and then we have to think of items. It doesn't have to be like specific branded things.
Okay.
Obviously, we're going to start with a dude. My first idea is, like, I don't know what's in a White Russian. Obviously, the liquor that goes in a White Russian. Easy.
Yeah, okay. And I got to say something for the dude now?
Yep.
Okay. Lounge pants.
Okay, that's pretty good.
The dude lounge pants. Yeah.
I think sunglasses could be good, but Homeboy wouldn't buy expensive sunglasses, so maybe some cheap shit. I think that'd be funny.
Everything's real cheap on the dude, I think.
Yeah, true. Do you have any other ideas?
Not for the dude, no.
Okay.
We do Donnie next.
Let's talk about Donnie.
Okay, I have one for Donnie.
Uh-huh.
Ready? Folgers Donnie roast. Okay? Because at the end they put Donnie's ashes in a Folgers coffee can. So Folgers Donnie roast. I'm drinking Donnie today.
Well, that's not the kind of idea I thought you'd say, but yeah, maybe. I'm thinking like maybe some bowling apparel.
Yeah.
I think that would be very good.
I just love the idea of brewing up some good old Donnie.
Okay.
A good old cup of Don.
I'm trying to think of like an ad where you would see him. Like you and I are thinking of a series.
Yeah, you see him, you kill him, incinerate him, pour his ashes in a Folgers coffee can. There you go.
Okay. Well, I feel like Donnie bowls and he dies. So let's go on to
Walter.
Walter. I guess I'll go first. I think, God, that nasty haircut. Doesn't he have like shaded glasses or something like that?
Aviators.
Yes, definitely aviators for that man. Your turn.
Okay. Walter needs a special edition copy of Apocalypse Now, a classic movie about the Vietnam War.
Okay. I think that he should be in an ad for some just white underwear, some Fruit of the Loom.
That's good. His white undies. There we go. That's perfect. Do we have another character we want to jump in on? But I think that's most of the...
I care about those 3 the most. I really don't care about the other ones.
Okay, that was really fun.
Yeah.
I want some Walter underwear. I want some Donnie coffee. That's good. No, we've gone a little bit over on time, but that was worth it. That was a good, fun idea.
Yeah, I
to
think
end
so
it
too.
on. Okay, so let's wrap things up now. This was the Marketer's Cut. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Marketer's Cut. Find the podcast anywhere you can find podcast or on YouTube. Learn more at marketerscut.com. I want to thank Jacob Wall for his art. Find more of his work on Instagram at Jacob Art Wall. I want to thank my friend Parker Bullock for recommending this because this was a really fun episode to do. So thanks, Juicer. Little callback to the past there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We do not know what we're doing next week. We're gonna try to figure that out, but it's a surprise. So that's it. Anything else you want to say, Alyssa?
I feel like I had an idea for my sound thing and then I forgot it. I think I want to, like play. I want to do something that like you play in the background, like so like someone thinks you're talking on the phone, like maybe put this up to your ear.
Okay.
And so like, but make it loud enough to where you can kind of hear me, so people think you're talking on the phone.
This is how Alyssa is using her new mic, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
this is how
other
I'm using
non-podcast related microphone activities.
Okay. Hey, what's up? Oh, really? Wow. That's amazing. Hey, did you leave this shit in the toilet and not flush?
Okay. I hope the music drowned that out, because wow.
Wouldn't that be really funny if someone called you and said that, and like you're like, oh god, my friends are mad at me on the phone, I really have to go.
Oh wait, oh god, my friend's mad at me on the phone. We really have to go now.